Hello and welcome to the Online Educators Forum. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Lindsay Andreolli-Comstock, and today we are talking about motivation. What motivates you? What motivates me? What motivates someone to take an online course? Motivational theory is one way we as online educators can enhance an online course offering and tap into what drives our learners. So, what is motivational theory? Motivational theory is the study of understanding what drives an individual to work towards a particular goal. In education, motivational theory is important because understanding what drives learners influences how we design, build, and teach our courses. And if it doesn't, it should. There are two types of theories for motivation in education: content and process. These two types of theories represent different angles of impulse and help explain why certain learners behave in particular ways. Content theories answer the what of educational motivation. What causes a person to seek out continuing education? What causes a person to prioritize online learning versus traditional classroom learning? Within this theory type are 6 separate theories that dig deeper into the learner and their inclinations in education. Perhaps the most famous content theory is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. While other psychologists of his day were simply looking at response to environment, Maslow was taking a holistic approach to motivation. His determinations concluded that there is a hierarchy whereby certain needs must be met before others can be given proper attention. In this image, we can see the hierarchy as Maslow envisioned it. Starting at the bottom are physiological and safety needs. These are the two most basic needs that must be solidified in the learner's mind before psychological and self-fulfillment needs can be prioritized. So, things like food, water, warmth, rest, security, and safety, basic things needed for human existence, must appear stable and accessible for the learner to move into different levels of motivation. Second to the basic needs are the psychological needs. So here we see the learner being able to focus on things like belonging or love and self-esteem. This is where relationship dynamics, both inside and outside the virtual classroom, gain focus as well as feelings of ability and accomplishment. And then lastly, ideally the space where we would love to see our learners thriving is the self-fulfillment stage, where self-actualization and the achieving of one's fullest, most creative potential is realized. However, a number of factors both within and outside of our control must fall into place for this to occur. What we get with this chart explaining Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a look into the subconscious realities of our students. A learner in your online course may have difficulty focusing on deadlines for assignments if they do not have stable housing overhead. Perhaps they're in the midst of a stressful move. While likely a temporary situation, the same instability exists in the present moment in their mind. Similarly, a learner who is perhaps caring for an aging parent and subconsciously processing losing one of the most important intimate relationships in their life might have difficulty moving to the self-fulfillment stage if that psychological need is unstable right now in their life. All of these life situations have an impact on the learner's ability and motivation before, during, and after your online course. In the same way that content theory offers a glimpse into the what of motivation, process theory offers us online educators a sneak peek into the why of motivation for our target audience. Why might a person seek out continuing education? Why might a person desire online learning versus in-classroom learning? Within this theory type are also 6 separate theories that dig deeper into the learner's reasons in education. Let's take a look at this visual of determining efficacy judgments from Bandura's self-efficacy theory. According to Bandura, Self-efficacy is a person's particular set of beliefs that determine how well one can execute a plan of action in prospective situations. In other words, self-efficacy is our belief in our own ability to succeed, and Bandura believed this is determined through 4 main sources of influence. In this image, we can see the determining efficacy judgments as keys to unlocking motivation. The first, performance outcomes. According to Bandura, positive and negative experiences can influence the ability of an individual to perform a given task. If one has performed well at a task previously, they are more likely to feel competent and perform well at a similarly associated task in the future. In other words, if you have succeeded in online learning before, you are more likely to believe you can do it again. Number 2, verbal persuasion. According to Redmond, self-efficacy is influenced by encouragement and discouragement pertaining to an individual's performance or ability to perform. In other words, if you have received positive reinforcement for a particular way of analyzing data before, then you are likely to have higher motivation to use that analysis again than if you had received negative reinforcement the last time. And third, physiological feedback. According to Bandura, people experience sensations from their body, and how they perceive this emotional arousal influences their beliefs of efficacy. In other words, if you have a visceral negative reaction to an instructor's approach to teaching, then you are likely to attach a negative feeling to that instructor in their courses moving forward. Similarly, if you experience a euphoric adrenaline rush after a course with a particular instructor, then you are most likely to attach a positive feeling to that instructor in any courses they might offer in the future. And lastly, vicarious experiences. Bandura stated, people can develop high or low self-efficacy vicariously through other people's performances. A person can watch another perform and then compare their own competence with the individual's competence. In other words, if I see you write a book and I see us on an equal footing, then I am most likely to believe that I can also write a book. These 4 main sources of influence make up Bandura's theory of self-efficacy. Similar to content theory, this process theory gives us a glimpse into the motivations of our learners in ways that allow us to craft an online learning experience that is meaningful, impactful, and rewarding. Sure, no 2 learners are alike, but when we know what is driving our learners and why, we can give fuel to their flame of desire for continuing education. Equally as important is understanding what may be interfering with our learners' ability to succeed and why. When we know more about the things standing in their way, we can make adjustments and alterations to our courses that afford our learners the opportunity to engage at their own independent highest levels. Well, folks, that's our show for today. Remember, motivational theory can enhance online learning in a number of impactful ways. If you are interested in more online educator resources like this one, visit sgcitizenry.com and click the Academy tab at the top of your screen. This is the Online Educators Forum. See you next time.